Hi everybody, thank you very much for pressing play on the video today. It's Caroline here from craftycarolinecreates.com. This is the project we are going to make today. It is a very cute little box. It measures 3 inches by 2 inches square, and I think it looks very pretty on the outside, but it does have a little hidden extra feature inside. If we open it up, do the ribbon, and this actually came around a little bit by accident. I'll tell you how it came about in a little while, but it all opens up like that. So the front, when you open it, drops down, and I did some stamping inside. Now when I first made this box, this was going to be the outside, and I decided when I stamped it, I thought it was a bit too much for the outside. So I was just doing a prototype, so I decided to stamp the other side to see what that looked like, and I liked that as the outside. But I actually liked it when it accidentally folded up and looked like that inside. So it's one of those sort of serendipitous moments in crafting where something happens that you weren't quite expecting. And I love the way that this sort of folds down inside, gives that little bit of extra wow factor. But as always, it is incredibly easy to make. So I'll pop this one to one side and I'll show you how you do it. You need to start off with some cardstock. Mine is very vanilla and it measures 9 inches by 7 inches. The stamping for the outside, we are going to use this flower here from Rose Wonder, which is a really beautiful stamp set. I've mounted my stamp already. This one is Marina Mist with Dapper Denim ribbon. I thought we would go for a single colour version now. We're going to do Flirty Flamingo. So it's a colour that I've not used that much. Kind of feel that I should use it a little bit more. So all I'm going to do is just ink this up. I'm just going to stamp randomly all over my cardstock. I'm going to keep my stamping quite tight, so we're pretty much covering the cardstock. I'm not going to leave too big a gap between each of my stamps, but we are really just doing this very randomly. You will find that in some places you get a bigger stamp left than in others, bigger gap. And I'm also trying to do this relatively quickly, so you're not all bored just watching me stamp over a piece of cardstock, but you get the impression of how quick and easy this is to do. Just turning my paper around, it saves me rotating the stamp every time. Just gives a bit of variety in the orientation of the flower. Okay, I think we're nearly done. Oh, looks like my ink pad needs a bit of re-inking. There we go. Okay, that was super quick, wasn't it? Now on the other side, I had a thought that rather than doing like a bold, bright pattern, which you can do, this is falling flowers that I used inside, if you were wondering. I thought what we would do is Rose Wonder. I'm not sure how this is going to work out because I haven't actually practiced it, but this Rose Wonder set, this rose is gorgeous, and I thought if you were doing this as a wedding favour, this would be a really lovely image to have inside the box. So I've kind of thought it through in my head. So I've mounted that stamp set, and you can see just how big that stamp is. This is the largest block we do. This is clay block F, which is a 6 inch by 5 inch block, so you can see just how big that stamp is. Let us ink this up really well. And there we go. Okay, and how I'm going to stamp it, I think, is I'm going to stamp it towards the bottom with the leaf like this, so that the rose will be sort of in the middle bit and on the bit that falls out. Okay. Stamp that down, lift it up, and you see how beautiful that image is, and that's going to be on the inside of our box. I guess if you wanted to, you could almost do a second one. Let's just do one, don't get carried away. Let's just do one at the moment. Okay, so that is our stamping done for now. I'm just going to tidy some bits away. So let's do some scoring. Here is my scoreboard. Let's lift you up a little bit. There we go. Okay, so what we want to do is score firstly with our long 9-inch section on the top. Remember, all of the dimensions will be on Crafty Caroline Creates, so don't worry about rushing to write them down really quickly now. And you want to start, if you're doing it like I am, this is going to be the flap of the box that comes over the top, and this is going to be the fold out section. So we're going to start with the rows at this side, so that then this will be on the fold out section. Hopefully I'm explaining that well. Somehow I doubt it. But let's go long side at 1 inch, 3 inches, 5 inches and 7 inches. Turn it 90 degrees and we are going to score it at 2 inches and at 5 inches. All of these dimensions will be over on craftycarolinecreates.com, so don't worry about writing them down. Have I said that already? I'm not sure. Now we're also going to do 2 little score lines with the 1 inch line at the top. So can you see? I'm not sure how. Yeah, I think you can just see. So where we've got 1 inch and then a longer gap, where this end we've just got the 2 inch gap. With the 1 inch gap here at the top, we're going to score at 1 1/4 inches, but we're just going to score down to the second score line in the opposite direction. So 1 1/4, and then we're going to score at 5 3/4. But again, just down to that second score line. Can you see that? Hopefully. Show how well that's picking up. There we go, perfect. You see, that's just gone down to that second score line. Okay. Right, now we are ready to fold and burnish, and then we will do a little bit of cutting. So where would my bone folder be? Quite important thing to have when you want to do some folding and burnishing. Here it is, got it. I put my stamp set on top of it. So we are just going to fold and burnish. So remember, the rose is going to go on the inside, so we're going to fold around that. Okay, so we're just folding and burnishing all those major score lines, not those 2 little ones that we did that only go halfway down. Okay, and now we are ready to do a little bit of cutting. I'm just looking for something that I need. In a second. Oh, I forgot to get it out. My corner rounder, where are you? Let's do some cutting and then we'll find the corner rounder in a second. So the first thing we're going to do is that score line here that we did halfway down. We're going to cut all the way down that score line. So it's not really a score line, it's a cutting marking line. Okay. Going to cut all the way down that score line. Then we're going to cut the next score line across, but just to the first line, just like that. Okay, and then we are going to take off this section like that, and then this bigger section here, and we're going to continue cutting up so that we make a little flap. Just like that. So we cut an L shape out of the corner and we made a little flap. So we will do exactly the same on this side. Okay, perfect. Okay, right, now what we need to do is we need to cut up this line here as well. So our next score line down, cut up there. And cut up here. There we go. Okay, and these two, what we're going to do is notch them out, and then we're going to sort of cut those down to any sort of length that we want. So I've probably taken quite a bit off there, probably taken about 2/3 of the distance off there. Okay. So I now need to find the corner rounder, so just bear with me a second. Here it is. And we are going to round off these 2 corners and these 4 corners. Okay. These 4 Sometimes have to get a bit creative with how you fold this to get into all of the corners, but you can do it. Fold that in. And our last one here. There we go. They are all nicely now folded off. Now we need to pay attention to these bottom 4 corners here. These are the ones that are going to fold in. So how do we do that? You need something with a straight line. So I have a stamping block. It's not very clean. Let me clean that up so I don't get blue ink on my cardstock. And what we're going to do is from the middle corner to the outside edge, we are going to score a line. So I'm just going to line up my block. I'm going to use my bone folder, or you can use your scoring tool from your Simply Scored, but all we want to do is just press down quite firmly and score a line. You see, I've done that there. I'm going to do exactly the same on the opposite corner. So just find where that intersects there. I couldn't see, the light wasn't brilliant, couldn't see where the score line intersected, so we're just going to do that again on the other side. You see? Right, now what we need to do is then bring in our scissors, and you can do this on your trimmer if you want to get it perfect, but I find that these big scissors let me do it. I'm just going to cut diagonally the opposite way both of those corners off. Okay, so I am going to use, oh, that one's not very straight, didn't quite make it to the corner. Let me do that again. There we go. So this is our net. So I'll put that down like that so you can see what we are looking to make. Okay. Now before we fold it up, what we are going to do is we need to fold along these score lines that we have made. Now the easiest way to do that, fold it up and then fold the whole corner up and then sort of bring that down with your bone folder in to close that up. Okay, I'm just going to get my bone folder in to make that nice and sharp. If you want to see it again, I will do it again on this side. So how do we do it? Folded this side up, and then with your bone folder in there, just fold that down, and that will close up like that. And you can see then how your box is going to come together, and that's going to fold out like that. Can you see that? Perfect. And that rose is inside. Okay, so we just need to put the fuse on 2 little pieces. So these 2 flaps that we cut down, not the ones with the rounded corner, I'm just going to put some fuse, if I don't drop my fuse, we're going to put some fuse along here and along here, and then we can just fold and stick those down like that, one side and like that on the other. Okay, I quite like that. You see that rose inside? Oh, look, that works quite well, doesn't it? Maybe I would have turned the orientation a little bit more, but you get the idea. I like that. It works pretty well as a sort of impromptu on camera try. Now to close our box, we are going to use some ribbon to help keep that closed. We're going to use our handheld punch to punch a few holes. So the first thing we're going to do is fold over this flap, fold it down. I'm just going to use my grid paper to roughly find to 1.5 inches, which will give me my rough centre point. And I'm going to punch through, going up probably about 1 centimetre, so about 1/2 inch, a bit more than 1/2 inch up, and just punching down through like that. That's not very central, is it? A little bit off centre, please forgive me. And then just close up your box, and I'm going to use a little pencil just to mark where that hole is there, and we're going to then punch that hole through this side as well. Oh, if I can get it in the right way. There we go. So we punched 3 holes, so 1 in the top, 1 in the flap, and 1 in the front section. This is coordinating Flirty Flamingo ribbon. Hope I have enough left, actually. Look, ran out. Oh, this is retiring, this ribbon, so I hope I have enough. I think I'm going to have enough. I'm going to start by going in at the top of our box, then out through the hole we made in the front. Okay, Then pull your box together to close it up. And let's go in through that hole there. So we went into the top of the box, out through the front, and then out through the flap. Okay, and that gives us something that looks like that. You can make sure your ribbon goes across the centre of your box. And then we're just going to pull that closed like that and tie that off in a little flat knot. Okay. There we go. And we just trim those tails. There we go. And just to finish it off, I guess you could lose it like this. I think this would look a really amazing wedding favour, wouldn't it, actually? We are going to do a little bit more stamping, but I'm not. I'm going to show you what I've done in advance. I've taken this frame and the word thank you, and I've stamped them on some more very vanilla cardstock, and then I've cut them out using the matching framelit, which comes in the Rose Garden framelits. Thinlits, which you get this gorgeous rose as well. I've showed you those before. Really lovely set. And I'm just going to pop 2 dimensionals on either side, and that will then pop up on the top of my box. And there we go, a very simple but very elegant and very beautiful favours box with that little extra special opening inside. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, if there is anything I can help you with in terms of Stampin' Up, please do not hesitate to get in touch, and I will be back very soon with another video. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.